Elliot, do you have anything you'd like to say about the Barefoot Dreams blanket you're enjoying? I'm reviewing it on my YouTube channel. No? You'd rather keep making biscuits? Alright, cool. What about you? Do you have anything to say? No? Just that you really like it? Okay. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren. This channel is called Elements of Style because I like to cover all the elements of style, whether it be your home, travel, fashion, anything. Today I'm actually going to be talking about blankets, so I guess that classifies as home. Been some time since I shared a video. I was clucking one out every week or so, and then the last stages of pregnancy hit me. I'm currently videoing this 36 weeks pregnant with twins, so this probably won't go live until they're here. I'm prepping content so just so I have it, and I thought this would be a great post to do just because the holiday season is coming up and gifts are being thought about. I'm pretty type A and I've been buying Christmas gifts since like July, but I still like to get some later on just because of sales and such. I know Black Friday's coming up, stores are just doing sales, so this is about the Barefoot Dreams blanket, specifically the CozyChic throw blanket. Size I'm going to be referencing is 54 by 72 inches, and just know there's different sizes. There's the throw size. This size fits across like my California king bed that I'm currently on right now because I don't have an office. It's a nursery now, and yeah. But they also make baby blanket sizes and other products as well, but I'm just going to be talking about the blanket as that is the real staple good that they sell. So I actually never wanted to do a post on this. I avoided this topic like the plague just because I feel like it's overhyped. Everybody talks about it, and I don't like to just buy something because so many influencers or celebrities or Oprah or whatever is talking about it. And so this year though, at the Nordstrom Anniversary Sale, I decided to buy and try a blanket. I polled you on Instagram and 53% of you said that the blanket was worth the money, and then I asked again if I did buy it, how many of you would want a review, and 56% of you said you wanted a review. So this is for you. And I took one for the team, bought the blanket. I actually bought it in two colors. I bought this cream and then the camel color, and just to see which one I liked better. Ended up keeping the cream, and here we are. I bought it during the Nordstrom Anniversary Sale because this size normally retails for $147, but it's on sale for $97, so it's still a $100 blanket, but is discounted, and I know a lot of people like to buy them for Christmas and stuff like that. I kind of justified spending it just because I had heard that they're such great blankets, and having to go to the hospital to have the twins, I had been told to like pack a blanket, and I was like, I don't know what blanket I would necessarily pack, but I've heard this is really good, so maybe I'll just bring that one to the hospital. So that is what I'm planning to do. I just took it out of our hospital bag because those are all packed in the car, and just so I could have it here with you to show you today. If you're new to my reviews, I love doing reviews, first of all, but if you're new, I always like to give a little history and background because that's what truly makes me fall in love with a brand, is the story. A lot of times I know the story pre-buying it, but this is a story I didn't know until I started researching for this post. So Barefoot Dreams was founded in 1994 by Annette Cook here in Malibu, California, which is super close to where I live. I live on the west side of LA, and Malibu is one of my favorite places to go. It began as a children's line. She was inspired by her three sons, and which makes total sense because these blankets and all of their products are just so cozy and soft, making them perfect for a kid's collection. In 2012, sadly, she passed away from cancer, but her husband decided to continue the brand and grow it as her legacy, and basically made it into the brand you know it as today. So they're openly loved by people like the Kardashians. Oprah has put it on her favorite things list, and they actually have a storefront here in Malibu, which I didn't know, but now I definitely need to go check it out. But beyond that, beyond all the accolades and the press, I really like that they give back. I always love a good give back story. So they partnered with tons of different charities here in the local LA area, as well as across the United States. They also have a collection that's called Covered in Prayer that was started by Annette before she passed away, and a portion of those proceeds go to Underglow Foundation, which basically funds doctors and researchers to help find a cure for colon cancer. So now that you know a little bit more about the brand, let's talk about the specifics of this blanket, what you really came here for. When I do reviews, I like to give you the whole overview. So I'm going to start with things I like about it. I'm going to then tell you things I don't like about it, and then basically tell you if I think it's worth the money. So let's get started. What do I like about the Barefoot Dreams blanket? First of all, the softness. Let's be real, that's what it's known for. It's known to be super soft, cozy, and it is. It lives up to that standard. Now, there's a lot of soft blankets out there on the market, so what makes this one different, and I'll kind of touch on that. But I think the biggest thing is that it doesn't lose its softness. I brought another blanket in here to kind of compare. This is a typical like micro fleece blanket. It's over 5 years old. And yeah, this is just, I think when people are like, I can just buy a $20 blanket, this is what they're talking about. It's a soft blanket. It's been well used, well loved. Granted, you know, I did get this one this year, so it does show age and wear and tear, but I'm going to reference this several times through because this is still soft, but it's not as soft as when I first got it. Because of the texture, which I'll reference a lot, this softness doesn't really fade. I've been told it doesn't fade, and it hasn't faded thus far. The second thing I like about the Barefoot Dreams blanket is the texture. So as you can see, this is knitted. You can kind of see, you may not be able to. It's knitted, so it's not just like a strip of fabric they cut like this is. This is very much, there's no holes in it, just fabric that they have, you know, hemmed. It's still a nice blanket, but it's a different kind, right? I really like this texture for a lot of reasons. If you take care of your blanket like you should, it isn't going to show the wear and tear because of the texture. And it's knitted, but it's not like too loosely knitted to where you have a lot of air coming in. It still keeps you warm. Third thing that I like about it, the next thing is the weight. It's not a weighted blanket by any means, but because this is knitted the way that it is, it gives like a certain heaviness to it. So it's not too heavy, it's just like the perfect weight, whereas like this type of like fleece blanket is just kind of, it's light. This one is a lot heavier, and so it does make it feel more luxurious. I think the weight feels nice, and I think it just overall makes the blanket. Number 4, the next thing that I like about it is pilling, or really lack of pilling. If you look at this blanket, there's a lot of pills and pulls on it just from over the years. Because this is textured, it doesn't pill. You could still like snag it on something, and if you caught it, you could probably still fix it and loop it back through, but for the most part, you're not gonna get any of those. The texture really helps you out with that. Just keeps it looking nice, because the point of buying a blanket like this is that you'll keep it for a long time, whereas like this is on its last leg, and so you are spending more up front, but you're also buying less overall. And last but not least, number 5, I like that this is machine washable. Yes, these types of blankets, the microfleece, are machine washable. However, a blanket of Barefoot Dreams caliber is usually not washable. Like think a cashmere blanket or something like really high end. It's not machine wash and dryable, which this is, which is helpful just because I have 3 pets and I have twins on the way. So I'm sure it'll get thrown in the wash quite a bit. Now for what I don't like about it, this list is actually shorter than the things I like about it, which is always a good sign. But basically the number 1 thing I don't like is the price, and I'll talk about the price and what I think about it in a minute. But basically that's why I didn't buy it for so long. It's like, ugh, I don't need a $150 blanket, come on. And then the second thing I just wanted to mention was that it sheds. So it's temporary, but when I first got the blanket, little pieces of the fibers would come off, like little tiny, like super tiny pieces. And that was basically just in the first week of use. Fleece blanket doesn't typically do that just because it is fabric, whereas this is knitted. So just something to keep in mind, but I will say it's temporary and it wasn't a make or break for me. It didn't bother me, I just wanted to mention it. The price bothers me more than the shedding, but yeah. What you really came here for is, do I think the Barefoot Dreams blanket is worth the money? Is it worth the cost? I am not gonna answer this directly. I typically like to, but it's really hard for me to justify saying, yes, this is a $150 blanket, you should purchase it. So I'm going to say, while I do think it's a high quality blanket, I would not suggest you buying it if it is beyond your means. You do not need to go into debt to buy a $150 blanket. If you can afford it, do it. It's a great blanket. Let me kind of dive into why. I love supporting small businesses, especially when they're local to me. I consider Malibu local, just up the road. We spend a lot of time there. And so I like that I'm supporting a small business and that the husband is furthering his wife's legacy, and that I'm supporting the local community by, you know, supporting that brand. So those are great things it has going for it. But I have a hard time giving a black and white answer of yes, it's worth it, and no, it's not worth it. The first reason is because this blanket is made of polyester. If you're new here, my background is in apparel merchandising, so I'm very familiar with just fibers and different fabrics and things like that. And polyester is a man-made fabric. I don't have a problem with polyester. However, I am aware that it is typically cheaper than, say, cashmere or even cotton. And so it's not made of one of those luxurious fabrics. I do think this feels luxurious, but like cashmere is super luxurious. It's not made of that. Now a cashmere blanket would be, you know, 5 times the price of this, so I understand that. But a cotton blanket, I don't know. Anyway, it's polyester, and just knowing that it's polyester, that's a cheaper fabric. Now, it is a large piece of fabric, so keep that in mind. It's not only a large piece of fabric, but it's also knitted versus just a piece of fabric. So this kind of fabric takes longer because you're knitting it. So to kind of break down the math for you, this blanket is 54 by 72 inches, which is 4.5 feet by 6 feet, which in yards is 1.5 yards by 2 yards. I say that because fabric is typically sold in bolts of yardage, not inches or feet. This blanket of the same size that you could buy for $20, the micro fleece, you could probably buy the fabric itself for, you know, under $2 total. Whereas this is gonna be a more expensive fabric because, again, it took longer to make and has a more in-depth production cycle. I'm not sure of the margins that Barefoot Dreams is making, but it's clearly a luxury brand and they can do whatever they want. People are obviously spending the $150, so like, why charge less for something that is clearly very elevated and people are paying for already? People can price things at whatever they want. They just can. Guess that they probably wholesale this for around $45 to $50, meaning that it probably cost of all goods, like all in, would probably be around $20 to make, for the fabric and labor to make this blanket. When you think about it that way, this micro fleece blanket probably costs less than $5 to make all in, so it is more expensive. It does have more labor. That's enough retail math for you today, just thinking about all the things that go into the pricing, and that is in fact polyester. To loop it back to my original point, the second thing I wanted to talk about why I have trouble justifying it is because these blankets are made in China. I'm not sure that all the blankets are made in China, but this one specifically is made in China, and I don't have a problem with Chinese factories whatsoever. However, it is very well known that it costs more to make things in the United States than it does in China. That's why people outsource and make things in other countries. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I would be able to justify the price in buying it more if it was American made. Probably would be more than $147, but at the very least, I'd say like, oh, we're supporting Americans here making the product. So it's made in China and it's polyester, so just things to note. I know I didn't give you a straight answer, but if it helps you, just know that I probably will buy more Barefoot Dreams blankets, and I obviously kept this one. I didn't return it, so I do like them, and I do think they're somewhat worth the price. Nick really likes this blanket. He tries to steal it from me, and of course my pets love this blanket, so it is all very well loved in our household. I'm not sure when they go on sale other times of the year, just because I've never paid attention to it, because I've never purchased it until now, but I do know that every Nordstrom Anniversary Sale, which happens in late July, early August every year, these do go on sale. They have the solids like this, and then different pattern ones, like the leopard one's really popular, and they come out with seasonal patterns every year. Do know that Nordstrom Rack sometimes carries these, and they actually look today and they do have 2 blankets, but make sure that you're comparing the sizes that you want. So this one was $147 and I paid $97 for it, but right now Nordstrom Rack has 2 sets of blankets a solid and then a pattern one, but they're 45 by 60 inches, so they're smaller than the 54 by 72 that I have. But when you're comparing prices, just make sure you're comparing apples to apples, because you can get one for 59 bucks or 49 bucks, but it's going to be smaller than this size. So that would probably work better as a blanket for one person or like a couch throw, whereas this one does fit on my bed. They also make like baby blanket sizes. It segues me into my last point. What about the other Barefoot Dreams products? So they have a whole collection. They have blankets, they have ponchos, they have robes, pants, lots of different things. I'm probably not gonna buy any of the other things. I'm not really interested in the robe or anything. I did buy 2 pair of socks for the hospital, just because I heard the hospital is so cold, and just to have that when we're there for the twins. So I did buy that, but other than the blanket and the socks, I don't think I'll be purchasing. But I could change my mind, because here I am talking about a blanket I said I would never buy. If other products do interest you, they also have other collaborations, like with Disney. They have some cool Star Wars stuff up. Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, the princesses, all of that. So just keep that in mind. They do cool things like that. A lot of that's on their website. I haven't heard great things about buying directly from their website. I obviously love buying from Nordstrom just because of the customer service and the shipping and returns and all of that stuff. But you can get most of their special things on their website. Just to reiterate, I will probably be buying more of these. I think they'd make a great Christmas gift. New mom, for grandma. I mean, Nick likes it, so guys like it too. But yeah, let me know what you think, and if you have any questions about the blanket that I didn't cover, I'd be happy to answer. You can comment here, you can email me at lauren@elementsofstyle.com, and I will get back to you. I always love answering questions and helping you with your purchases. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can follow along with me on my Instagram at @elmolinas and on my blog at elementsofstyle.com. I have a coordinating blog post that has all this information on it. So if you want to pin it for later or send it to someone as a hint that you want the blanket, or you just want to read it because I talk too fast or something like that, I will put that in the description box below. Everything will be linked. And yeah, see you next time. We'll probably have a baby and a baby with me, so. Sitting here trying to edit the video, and look. I love it. Kitten approved.